We thought it would be a good idea to bring in BK for a variety of reasons, not his crappy music, but his knowledge of several different things we kind of need to lean on right now. So joining me now, former Air Force PJ and host of World News with BK. BK. Hey, BK, talk to me about Venezuela. Are we going in?
Well, I would find it hard to believe that we would be, and I don't see what the point is at all. I think it's just kind of a flex, Jesse. I mean, I don't really know what we're doing down there. As you've seen, we've got a few boats, destroyers to be specific, down there, and we're supposedly pressuring Venezuela somehow, and I don't really know. And Venezuela's responding, by the way. They've put out a few warships and drones that patrol their own coastline. And I guess this has to do with the president, Nicolas Maduro. And, Trump is on this kick right now. He wants the drug trafficking to stop. And he thinks that if he parks these boats outside, somehow that's going to result in Maduro cracking down on the cartels, I guess is the plan. But I just don't see it happening.
Yeah, I just don't see Trump signing us up for another war like that. I guess we shall see where it goes. Okay, now we're going to bounce around the planet a little bit, BK, because you tend to do that quite well. Russia, Ukraine, obviously everyone knows about the meetings, the supposed peace deal, which I'm unbelievably skeptical will ever get here. But
right.
The fighting itself, what's happening with that? Because that we don't hear anything about.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much been, Jesse, as you know, for a long time, it's pretty much been an artillery war, and they've been stuck in the front line over on the eastern, over in that eastern region. And what you said about the peace deal, I totally agree because, I mean, we're at a basic impasse here. Zelensky says no peace without Ukraine remaining 100% whole, and Putin is saying peace only if I get a chunk of that eastern Donbass region. And as far as I know, he still wants to maintain Crimea as well. So I don't even know how you're going to get past that. Now, Russia has, on the battlefield, though, Russia has kind of recently made a few small moves. They just took 2 villages in one of the regions out there. Oh, man, I actually had this region open up in a tab because it's so hard to pronounce. How about Dnipropetrovsk? And that is the first settlements they have taken in the south central Ukrainian area in 3.5 years of war. So they actually are not really military significant, but this is a significant step in that Russia has actually managed to capture 2 of them. And then we're talking little villages, Jesse. There's 100 people each. But still, it's a symbolic thing. And, like we said at the beginning of this, unless we are committed to sending Western troops boots on ground, I just don't see how Ukraine survives a war of attrition with Russia, who is much more wealthy and powerful and has many more assets than Ukraine does. I just don't see it.
Let's shift gears and talk India, because Trump is leaning on them hard, 50% tariffs. He wants them to stop buying up all this Russian oil and all the other things. What are they militarily, BK? They're gigantic. Their economy is gigantic. I'm assuming they have some capable troops?
Oh, yeah. The Indian military is fairly decent. I know we all get a good laugh when we hear about the Indian and Chinese militaries up on the mountains, in that border region in the Nepal area, and they're not allowed to use guns and they fight with sticks and stuff like that. But other than that, though, they have an Indian army. There's a Navy, there's an Air Force, and they've got 1.4 million active personnel, and that makes them the world's second largest military force, believe it or not. And I believe that would be after, is it North Korea or us? I'm not sure who the first one would be, but they have a huge armed forces, and they send guys to our flight schools all the time. So they're pretty capable, and the idea that they're going to stop buying oil from Russia, I think, is a fantasy. I mean, why would they? Modi's got to worry about his own people more than he has to worry about Trump.
How unified is that place, PK? I find India to be a completely confusing place that it's one of the only places on earth that I don't want to visit. I don't like the food. I just have no desire to step foot there. Not insulting them. It's just not for me. But I know it has been divided many, many times throughout its history.
Yeah.
Horrible divisions, too. I mean, gosh, the creation of Pakistan is one of the ugliest events people know nothing about. How are they now?
I mean, there's still a lot of infighting, especially because, Modi, the Prime Minister of India, he's a big Hindu nationalist. I mean, his dream is to have India be a 100% Hindu country. And this has brought up a lot of problems because you have a lot of Muslims who still live in India and they don't really care for that. And there's a lot of, it depends on who you believe. If you are a Muslim, you would say that Modi is sending out his goons, his Hindu goons, to beat people up in the streets and intimidate workers and poll workers and everything else. But Modi will say, like, hey, these are troublemakers, these Muslims, and we want them out of here. So it's a very, like, they fight each other all the time, especially like up in Kashmir, as we've seen lately. People get shot and killed. There's constant fighting over there. And like you said, Jesse, I totally agree. The breakup of Pakistan and India is an insane story. And if you are interested in nonfiction reading, I highly recommend when you guys pick up a book about that. I mean, they would have like trains pulling into stations that were filled with corpses because people like would ambush trains and slaughter everybody on the train. I mean, it was just completely insane. And all because like some British guy in an office threw a map with a new country. Wild story.
If memory serves me, BK, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. By the way, speaking with BK, host of World News with BK, I believe the death toll was north of 1 million people. Do I remember that right? Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah. I mean, we're talking like wholesale slaughter. I mean, as these people as the Muslims are trying to stream into Pakistan and the Hindus are trying to stream into India, they were just like hacking each other to bits. It's a crazy story.
Tell me about this spy who just got busted as a CHICOM in the United States Navy.
Oh, yeah, this winter. I talked about him. I talked about him pretty extensively on the podcast. And, he's up for life in prison, Jesse. And what he wanted to do, what kills me is that the dude did all of this for like, I think it was like $12,000.
12 grand.
And I'm like, so you're looking at life in prison, bro, for 12 grand? I mean, it's not that serious. And last time I checked, Jesse, wasn't our friend Pete Kegsbreath, wasn't he bragging about Navy recruiting numbers? So why are we still recruiting guys like Jin Chao Wei? He's the spy. Why are we still recruiting guys like him? He wasn't even born in America. He's a naturalized citizen. I mean, why are we doing this? And the fact that he wanted to get 12 grand was enough for him to spy for a Chinese intelligence officer over an 18-month period, by the way. So, he could get life in prison over $12,000.
$12,000. I want everyone to know that if I ever sell out, it's going to cost a lot more than $12,000 to get me to do it. How is Pete doing as far as cleaning out the filth at the top of the military? It's a great concern for me. The military academies, the everything. I know there's been some movement. Has there been enough?
He's doing okay, Jesse. I'm not going to lie, and a lot of listeners your listeners will probably hate me for this, but Pete Hegseth was not my first choice by any means. I criticized the pick heavily. As a matter of fact, he was, and then the whole Signalgate controversy, and he just acted like very, very dumb. When there was time to do stuff, he just was dumb. It doesn't strike me as a smart guy. That being said, I like the fact he's out there promoting physical fitness. I like the fact that they're getting rid of some of the nonsense in the service academies. But it's a slow trickle, but as far as I know, he is doing stuff. I have heard directly from people who say like huge difference night and day as far as like the DEI training and electronic training that we all had to do. Even the high speed commandos had to sit down at the computer and knock out your computer based training all the time. And he has apparently been cutting down on some of that. So that's good.
BK, you got time for one more segment with me? Talk a little Gavin Newsom and people getting their heads cut off in Mexico.
Yes. Okay. Yes, absolutely. Let's go.
All right. California is an insane place. It is an insane place, and it saddens me because it's freaking paradise. I knew it when I lived there. It was paradise, but you could see it even then slowly but surely getting too expensive to live in, and now they have that goober Gavin Newsom running the place. Hey, BK, you're in California. How's it going out there?
Well, Jesse, it's funny you should ask. I pulled over because I actually was taking a day trip to beautiful Big Bear, and I'm sitting at the base of the mountain, looking up at the mountain in a beautiful, beautiful day. Everything you said is accurate. Everybody knows California is the best state in the country, geographically, temperate-wise, everything else, yes. But we are run by complete lunatics, and we are very much outnumbered here.
How outnumbered are you out there, BK? Because it's a famous stat. There are actually more Republicans in California than any other state. But the problem is the place is so friggin' big, there's more Democrats than any other state. How bad? Is it 70-30? How bad is it?
I don't even think it's that bad. If I remember, and this is going off memory, I want to say like 40% of the electorate voted for Trump in the last election. So we could call it 60-40. The problem is these coastal cities with just enormous amounts of people, and they think everything is cool, and they're happy with paying the highest energy prices in the country, the highest gas prices in the country, having the highest poverty rate in the country. I could go on and on and on, Jesse. And people are just fine with it because they're like, well, that's just part of what you got to put up with. I mean, I had to fill up my tank this morning. I'm still paying $4.69, and that's like not a bad price, Jesse. And like I read like Hawaii is cheaper, Jesse. How is that possible? How is that possible? And because stupid Gavin Newsom, who I told everybody was running for president years ago, and I was promptly dismissed. Oh, BK, his shtick doesn't play nationwide. And I'm like, you don't understand. He is going to go orange man bad, and he's going to ride it all the way. And white women love him, Jesse. We cannot underestimate this enough. They see Gavin talking, and they think he is the man. And he's going to win the nomination for sure. And I could see him definitely winning the presidency.
Oh gosh! Don't
so
put
you better
that
get
evil
ready.
on us. Oh.
I know, and people have told me on the podcast like, BK, you're spending a lot of time on Newsom lately, and I'm like, I'm trying to get you people ready for what's coming because pretty soon he's going to be all of your problem, not just mine.
All right, let's go to Mexico. I've had enough of California. Let's go to Mexico. Why are they getting their heads cut off down there, BK?
Jesse, nobody wants to say it out loud. Mexico is a failed state. I've been saying it for many, many years, and you're not supposed to say it out loud. I don't know why, but we have a failed state that is 20 minutes away from where I live in San Diego. It's completely controlled from top to bottom by the cartels. There's rumors about Claudia Sheinbaum, the new president, but she seems to be trying to do the right thing. They have been on the run a little bit, the cartels. They have deployed a lot of troops, but it's like whack-a-mole at this point. I mean, I think at this point, Mexico, the only thing that's going to stop any kind of cartel stuff in Mexico is going full El Salvador and just picking up everybody you can see and throwing them in prison. Because I really don't know how else you do it. I mean, a couple of years ago, we literally arrested their equivalent to the Secretary of Defense in America for working for the cartels. I mean, it goes 100% to the top, and it always has. So unless we want to get involved, and Jesse, as you know, we've had intelligence assets down there for many, many decades, so that's not new. But if we wanted to get involved militarily, that would be a nightmare. I'll just say it because these cartel guys, they're the neighbors, they're the grandmas, everybody's part of it. You can't just like carpet bomb the whole country. But it's freaky out there. It sucks because I used to love going down to Mexico all the time and sleeping on the beach, and I would never do that now. I would just never do it. It's too dangerous. And if I was armed, it'd be one thing. But if you take a gun down there, we all saw what happened. You're going to get thrown into a Mexican prison. And if you're very, very lucky, you'll get out in a year or two. No thanks.
Yeah, Mexican prison's no fun. From what I understand, Mexican prison's going to be no fun whatsoever. Yeah, we don't go down to Mexico anymore either. We used to love going down there whenever we could afford it. No more for me. BK, just one last one real quick on Mexico. Trump is always talking about eradicating the cartels. We're going to eradicate the cartels. He talked about it on the campaign trail, talked about it after he got elected. He takes it very, very seriously. Now, as you just laid out, that's not something that's really going to be possible outside of full-blown, Genghis Khan conquest. But are we going to do more than we're currently doing?
Well, I think, Scheinbaum has definitely stepped up with some of the law enforcement. It's not, they're definitely on the run a little bit, the cartels. I don't really just see what we could do, though, because Scheinbaum has already made it clear that she doesn't want like American troops in Mexico. So, I mean, what are we supposed to do? And it's too bad because I've been saying for years, Jesse, we should just annex Baja California, make that the 51st state. I mean, that's like 1,000 miles of like pristine beachfront property in the best climate in the world. And we're just not going to take that. Like, I've been arguing for that for years. I mean,
Yes.
and especially since the fentanyl has killed like hundreds of thousands of Americans, I think we should be compensated by taking that. And you could get out on the beach, Jesse. Baja California is beautiful. You know, you get out there, you got the ab veins popping. I know your ab veins probably need a little work. Mine are ready to go, but we'll get you squared away on that. You know, I'll get your diet and kettlebell exercises going. I mean, you can go down there in the tropics, have a few pops.
Thanks, BK. I guess I'll start doing crunches tonight. All right, thank you. Host of the World News with BK. BK, thank you, brother. I appreciate it.